welcome everyone. I'm Quinn. I'm a coach at Major League Hacking. I'm super excited to be joined by you all. I hope you're thrilled to be here just as much as me. We're going to be having a really great workshop from the Rucode team and the Google DeepMind team, all about how we can get started and build really great projects. First of all, it would be awesome for us if you could check in. The link is already in the chat. I'm actually going to just post it again for you all. Let me pop that in there. And I'll also pop it up on screen. And we'd love to hear where you're tuning in from as well. Let us know. Have you had a good morning, evening, afternoon? I hope your project's going well too. So yeah, just as a reminder for anyone who's just joined, I'm Quinn. I'm a coach at Major League Hacking. And we're going to have a stream from Sah and Paige from Rucode and Google DeepMind, respectively. They're going to be talking us through all of the best practices to follow, including an introduction to the AI Studio as a really low friction way to experiment with the APIs, and then saving and cloning locally to use with Rucode to scale it out. So I think this is going to be a super exciting stream. We're all great friends between MLH and Rucode and Google DeepMind, and I'm super excited to do some learning here too. We're also going to be joined by Hannes, who is the community manager at Rucode, who's popped in to say hi. So without further ado, welcome.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey there, folks. Great to see you, and really awesome to see all of these folks dialed in and building projects over Labor Day weekend or the long weekend if you're in the United States, or just a regular weekend elsewhere in the world. Oh, Sah, you might be on mute.
Yes, you are muted. There we go. Technical.
Hi, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well and really excited for this stream up ahead. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Great. Right. Well, without further ado, I'll leave you all to it. And I'm here if you need me, so just shout.
Cool. Sounds good. If it's okay with y'all, let's I can start presenting, but also just we can give kind of a round robin for the stuff that we'll be showing over the course of the next hour. Does that sound good?
Well, I'll just start and say I'm just here to say hi from Rucode Community Manager. Sah is going to be taking my place for presentation today, as it is my 16th anniversary, and I want to stay alive, so I'm going to get off the stream.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for dropping in. It's always fun. It's always fun to see you, and I really love the partnership between Rucode, between MLH, and between the DeepMind team. It's been really inspiring to see how y'all have been able to get features to market so quickly, especially for some of our newer models.
Oh, this nano banana has been really fun. Like, it's wild. I mean, I love what can be done right in Rucode. One of our team members, Dan, added the ability to generate images right in Rucode. It's an experimental feature, and even edit them. So I took a picture of like our co-founder Matt from when he used to work at Ruvet, and he had kangaroo ears on at a company event, and I took it and dropped it into my Rucode project, and then told it to like basically make me some website featuring him, you know, a bunch of times. And it made pictures. It made an outdoor wear website where he's wearing different outdoor wear, and he has these bunny ears on. So
I love it.
In Rucode. So
excellent.
Great product.
Very cool. And Sah, will you be able to show some of those features later on in the presentation?
Absolutely, I would. I'm looking forward to that.
Very cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds good. Go forth, and congratulations on your 16-year anniversary. That is a really like inspiring time to kind of be together, and I hope you have a great long weekend.
I'm glad you're doing this. Enjoy.
Cool. Excellent. Awesome. Well, I will go ahead and get started, and I'll also make sure to leave time so that we can get a little bit more of a deep dive into all of these great Rucode features. Let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. So hopefully folks can see my slides. I am more or less allergic to slides, so I promise there will be very few. But really just want to kind of focus on some of the new features that we've been releasing at DeepMind recently, and then get straight into demos. So I don't think it's any secret that generative AI is transforming everything that we do. If you're a developer, you've probably felt this firsthand. Sundar mentioned a while back that something like 25% of the code checked in at Google each week is generated by AI. That number has gone up way, 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 way higher in just the course of the last few months. And it's only, like we only anticipate that it gets even higher in the second half of the year, especially given things like tools, the Gemini CLI, and all of these really great kind of projects that allow you to scale out development very quickly. We have some new flagship models, so Gemini 2.5 Pro being one of them. This is pretty special for reasons that we'll get into in a second. Gemini 2.5 Flash Image Preview, aka Nana Banana, which just got released a little bit earlier this week. VO3, which is video generation, but also audio. So you can create kind of dialogue tracks, background music, background noises, all sorts of things. Gemma 3N, which is part of our open model family. It's open weights, so you can download it, use it locally, but it's only 4 billion parameters in size, so small enough to run on a lighter weight machine. And Genie 3 as well, which is kind of a brand spanking new. It feels almost like you're working in a holodeck or kind of moving through a holodeck as you use it. It's powered by VO3, but basically you can describe in natural language any sort of scene. You can also just seed it with a base image. So anything from kind of like a painting that you might see in a museum, or just like an image that you might have from a vacation. And immediately you're immersed into this kind of playable environment that's dynamically generated based on your actions. So you can see here the mouse keys off to the left, kind of navigating us through this volcanic landscape. This is kind of operating a jet ski around a bay at night with a whole bunch of very beautiful boats and lighted buildings. You can feel like you're immersed in a hurricane. And even more wonderfully, the kind of Genie 3 environment also has consistency across frames. So if you look down, you see that you're wearing yellow galoshes or something similar. It will remember that your shoes are yellow. It will remember if you kind of paint something onto the wall, at least for the minute and a half long kind of rollick through the environment that you have. So this is not available for folks to test out and try yet, though we are kind of hoping to have a trusted tester program soon. So if you're interested in that, please feel free to reach out to your MLH team contact, and we can get you added. But behind the scenes, this is all powered by VO3, and I think it's pretty cool. I'm not sure how many folks on the chat have seen Genie 3 before. But it really does feel almost like video games on demand. So you can just be like immersed in these beautiful worlds just through the power of natural language.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive what you can do with these models nowadays, especially the quality of the things being created here. It's quite amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm really, I'm a huge fan of the open source world as well. So it's been really nice to also see the speed and the pace at which the open source world is kind of replicating some of these research lab experiences too. So I can't wait, to see what comes in the next couple of weeks, in the next couple of months. It should be a wild ride. So Gemini is pretty special for some reasons, some of which we've already covered, but just want to kind of reinforce how the Gemini models are different compared to some of our competitors. They're natively multimodal, which means that you can understand video and also images, audio, text, code, all of the above all at once, but you can also output multiple modalities. So the Gemini models are capable of generating text and code, but also generating images and even editing images. And we have a feature called Gemini Live, which allows you to have natural language conversations with the model as well. And given that I am much more of a fan of showing rather than telling, let me go ahead and share a different window. So hopefully folks will be able to see the Google AI Studio environment, and Quinn can bring it up to the front. Yep, there we go. Awesome. Thank you so much. This is kind of my personal instance of Google AI Studio. So everything I show you, you should also have access to just through your Gmail account. It's really the best place to go to get access to the DeepMind models as soon as they are released. So you can see here off to the right, some models that are like the Nano Banana model, Gemini 2.5 Pro, Gemini 2.5 Flash, Flash Lite. If you hover over, you can see some information about how much each model costs, its knowledge cutoff date, but we also have some tools kind of baked into the APIs, such that you don't necessarily have to worry about some of those things. If I pull in Nano Banana, just so folks can kind of see what the model can do, similar to what Hannes was mentioning before, you can add sample media. So as an example, let me add in pizza. Hopefully everybody else is a little bit hungry too. And a cat, because obviously cats are kind of the best. And then I am also going to upload a picture of let's see if I can find a picture of myself. Might be from a while back. Yep, there we go. And then just say something to the effect of have the woman sitting at a table. The cat is on the table, and so is the pizza, or something similar. And then hit run. And we should be able to take these 3 input images and cobble them together into one kind of output image that keeps everything pretty consistent. So it looks like it wasn't able to add me. So let's play with the prompt a little bit. So the cat is on the table. It looks like and it looks like the pizza is there too. But merge these 3 pictures together: the woman, the cat, and the pizza. And we'll see how well it does. It might be a little bit scary for not kind of mentioning the specific environments. Well, so it did do the merge, but let's try again. So the woman is petting the cat and the pizza is on a table nearby. But it's kind of miraculous that all of this is being able to happen just via natural language. This is also the first time that I've been experimenting with Nano Banana where it hasn't had the kind of right example. You can see the woman, the cat, and the pizza.
The model is quite fast, without a doubt.
Yeah, it is very fast. We've also been experimenting with different model sizes. Yep, so there we go. There's a person petting a cat and a pizza. So if you don't get it right the first time, I strongly, strongly recommend testing it out. It works out especially well for scenes. So if you wanted to kind of create an app that has a specified scene, you can do that as well, adding logos. But you should be able to merge all of these things together. And even better, as you're experimenting with AI Studio, if you click this Get Code button, you should be able to see the code to replicate whatever you just did in the UI, just in Python or in TypeScript or whatever your favorite language might be. So this is all kind of copy and pasteable. It selects the appropriate model, the appropriate kind of features within the generative AI SDK, and you can just copy this into your project to go ahead and get started. From AI Studio, you can also generate API keys that you can use with Root code. Hopefully, you've been able to see some of those already, and you can also do things like have conversations with the Gemini models. So, as an example, if I were just going to pull up some documentation, maybe about function calling, and then go to our streaming feature, I can go ahead and select different languages. So here off to the side, I wonder if anybody has a favorite language that they speak. So, Sah, do you speak any languages in addition to English? Or I speak German, but like not very well.
Well, I guess that would be a problem. So let's just stick to English, shall we?
Oh, just English? Okay. So though I will test with German then afterwards, just so we can see multiple languages represented. Yep. But let's try English first. I'm going to turn on grounding with Google search as well. You can see here off to the right, you can also do things like turn on function calling and automatic function responses. And then I'm going to share my screen. So I'll add that Chrome tab. Hey, Gemini, could you please tell me what you see on the screen? And just checking, can everybody hear the model respond or no?
I don't think so because I cannot hear it.
No, let me sort of let me go ahead. I might need to share the tab audio as well, but let me.
I think if you try resharing,
yep,
and it might have an option for the audio there.
Yeah, let's try. Let's try in a different tab. So I will try sharing this guy, and we'll see how well this works. So we've got English. I'm going to turn on grounding with Google search again. And then instead of the function calling docs, I'm going to share some documentation that we have on GitHub around coding guidelines. So let's try again. Hey there, Gemini. Could you please tell me what you see on the screen?
The screen displays a document titled Gemini API Coding Guidelines.
Can you all hear now?
It provides instructions and recommendations for writing code using the Gemini API and the official libraries and SDKs. Key information includes the golden rule emphasizes using the correct and current SDK, which is the Google Gen AI SDK with the Python package Google Gen AI. It explicitly states that the legacy library.
Thank you so much, Gemini. That's really cool. Could you tell me what the temperature is like in San Francisco today?
It's currently 66 degrees Fahrenheit, 19 degrees Celsius, and sunny in San Francisco. The humidity is around 76%. The forecast for today is sunny with a high of 74 degrees Fahrenheit, 23 degrees Celsius, and a low of 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 16 degrees Celsius.
Awesome. And so you can see that kind of behind the scenes, since we had turned on the Google search integration, Gemini was able to kind of craft a query, get the response back, and then incorporate it back into its answer. You can also ask for up-to-date information. You can share things like URL context, so give Gemini access to specific URLs and have it incorporate that into the response. And again, just kind of like the example that we saw before, it also gives you kind of the config steps that you would need in order to make these tools and these techniques get added. So you can see adding Google search is just a one-liner, and you can copy and paste the Python or TypeScript code in order to use in your projects, which is pretty cool. honestly. Like the just being able to get something to work in AI Studio, and then kind of incorporating back into your projects. And I saw that somebody else is from Germany. So I'm going to go ahead and someone, Wave Pixel is from Germany. So I'm going to go ahead and ask Gemini to speak to us in German, and we'll see how well Puck does. So let's try again. Hey Gemini, could you please tell us in German what you see on the screen?
Auf dem Bildschirm sehe ich ein Dokument mit dem Titel Gemini API Coding Guidelines, Python. Es enthält Anweisungen und Richtlinien für die Verwendung der Gemini API, einschließlich der Empfehlung, das Google Generative AI SDK zu verwenden.
Is it doing
Es gibt
pretty
auch
good?
Informationen zur
Or-
Installation des SDKs
Yeah.
und einen Link zur offiziellen Dokumentation.
Awesome. So, as a person who speaks German sort of well, not gonna brag, not well enough for some of my relatives. They think my accent is quite poor. It sounds like this has been doing pretty well, and then again, it integrates too with things like URL context and function calling and responses.
Applications built with these are a lifesaver for those traveling whenever they are from a different country.
Absolutely.
It really helps them a lot.
Absolutely. And I think it's nice too that given that you can share video feeds, you can share things like screens. This means that it can help you read signs in real time, even if they're put into not your natural or native language. You can get real-time translations. And instead of having to deal with some of the other tools for things like speech to text and text to speech, this is just one API call. So one API call to be able to do the speech to text, the LLM understanding, including multimodal understanding, and the text to speech back, and dozens of languages. So hopefully folks get really excited about that. And then we also have a new feature that we just created called Build. Build is intending to give folks the ability to kind of create apps pretty quickly just using the Gemini APIs. It works well for applications that are less than 1,000 lines of code. So if you're working on a much larger code base, the recommendation is to start with root code and kind of use it for understanding and for kind of these agents and interactions with MCP servers that can scale and build out across an entire code base. But it's pretty cool in the sense, let me go ahead and share my personal one so that I can actually give y'all access to the app that we create together immediately afterwards. But hopefully folks can see. And maybe we say something to the effect of, please use the Gemini 2.5 Flash preview model to allow the user to create a personalized image with a kangaroo. The user should upload a picture of themselves. And the app should show them hanging out with a kangaroo. The words root code should be displayed in the background of the image. And maybe we should say building software applications with a kangaroo, the words, and the image should have a kind of cyberpunk vibe. Be creative and make sure that the website is elegantly designed. And then I hit Control Enter. We're put into this kind of view that takes the Gemini thinking traces. So this is using Gemini 2.5 Pro behind the scenes. It's a great way to get access to Gemini 2.5 Pro to kind of one-shot the app just without using your Gemini 2.5 Pro API key credits. And then once the app kind of goes through this thinking trace, it plops us into a view where we can see all of the individual files get created. You can also see there's a new GitHub integration. So if I click work with GitHub, it gives me kind of the ability to save it as a GitHub repo or a copy within Drive. And then you can also deploy it via Cloud Run after the app gets built. The repo that you deploy on GitHub can be public or private. And you can, once you deploy, you can share with your friends and kind of make sure that the app gets synced, such that if you do make changes, with Rue code, you can push them back to GitHub and have that be driving your deployment. So let's see. I'm going to upload an image, where we'll try again with the one that I had shared before. So maybe this guy, and then generate Rue code image. Let's see how well it does.
I mean, it's quite impressive how fast it was able to get everything.
Oh my gosh, this is adorable. This is so cute. Oh my Lord. Like, this is, I absolutely adore this. This is, I'm going to save it just because this is super, super cute. But then once the app gets created, you can click deploy to Cloud Run, select a project, deploy it. It creates kind of a place where you can go to look at logs behind the scenes, and then also a URL that you can use for your project. And then also once it gets created, so I'm going to copy that. Folks can, I'll zoom in so folks can see it, or we can hopefully, I'll add it in our private chat, and then hopefully someone can add it to the main chat. And then you can kind of experiment with it yourself, and see for the deployment all of the kind of the triggers and the logs that are associated with the deployment, and the connecting to repo. Again, once you kind of deploy to a GitHub repo, you can make sure that all of the changes that you make in sync within Rue code just automatically update this deployed app for Cloud Run as well. So I think it's really, really nice to be able to generate some of these tinier apps very, very quickly. And then if you want to scale them out to production, to kind of make them real, to kind of expand out and include things like MCP servers or databases or other features, Gemini with Rue code, and all of those component pieces are really great places to get started. So I'm going to go
There's a question here. It says once the code is pushed to GitHub, can we still continue editing the app directly in AI Studio?
So you can continue editing the app in AI Studio, but you'll need to keep pushing back to GitHub. So it's not synced between the two.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. And so, like I said, it's very good for these quick kind of one-shot applications. And then if you want to expand out, you should probably use an IDE with something like Rue code to make those larger changes across code bases.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about Rue code, especially given a few advanced features that we have in code base indexing. What we are able to get when it comes to larger code bases, the results are pretty impressive. Because with the help of embeddings, with the help of semantic search, the AI has a way better understanding of what the code base is, and really helps it understand and make the changes in a way better state.
Yeah,
So
I agree, and I also want to make sure to say that the build feature within AI Studio is really just focused on React apps. So again, these kind of smaller React apps, if you want to create something with like a Python web application or an agent or something that is not a React app, we do not yet have support for that. So these are just kind of things that you can prioritize building out in an IDE.
that's fair.
Yep. Awesome. Do you want to go ahead and show the Gemini integrations with Code, Sah?
Yes, absolutely. So I'll be sharing my screen.
Awesome.
And now you should be able to see my screen here. So one of the biggest mistakes that I've been seeing people do or make is how they start any of the projects that they're building in Code, right? Normally they start with a code mode and then they start iterating on the project for long sessions. And I am quite aware that Gemini has a huge context window of 1 million tokens, but we always recommend to keep these sessions divided so that things can be broken into steps, and then whatever the things that are being made, they're made procedurally. So the best way to do is to use orchestrator mode, which is based off boomerang task. And right now we'll be starting a website, a normal website. Let's call it a pets and coffee shop. Let's call it that. And let's do one more thing. We have an experimental feature that we recently added, which allows you to use the Google's Nano Banana model directly within Code. So we'll enter the API key, we'll set the image model that we want to use, save, and then we'll go ahead. Let's start it. So what we basically want here is the orchestrator mode to divide everything into steps so that it's way more manageable for the AI as well as you. Now here we can see it's creating different steps here. Let's stick to the Gemini model and let's let it think. Now, one more thing I would suggest people explore is the amount of thinking tokens that they can configure from Gemini. There are a few tasks like planning where we probably want the AI to think more, and there are a few tasks like coding where we would expect the AI to think less, keep to the plan, and just get things done. So right now we are in the architect mode, which is basically a mode to plan everything out. So the maximum token could be a little higher. The lowest we can go is 128 thinking tokens for Gemini, which would make sure that Gemini doesn't go off track, everything gets done, and whatever that you're trying to build builds easily and way faster. As you can see right now, it's thinking for a little longer because it's in plan mode.
I love that the thinking traces are also exposed, so you can see what the model is kind of going through as it's architecting out each part of the website.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's quite a detailed plan from what I can see.
Absolutely.
What we here do is add different tools with which Code can segregate different types of tasks. This is a subtask that was created under the orchestrator mode. After this mode, if after this task is done, it would be able to complete it and then send it back to the orchestrated task, which it would decide to give it to the code mode and start the process of building this website that we wanted. The subtask is complete. We do complete subtask and return, and the whole plan is sent back to orchestrator mode. Now the orchestrator mode would decide how it needs to assign this task. Basically, we have different modes. I would dwell a little bit more deeper into different modes and how you can set up different modes as well soon. But let's have this demo up until then. And here we go. It has started coding.
Yeah. I also want to share, so I'll add this in the chat, but if you wanted to add Gemini features in your app, we've also added a kind of a file for code gen instructions in our main GitHub repo. So if you wanted to kind of paste something into the context window to make sure that you have all of the latest generative AI SDK features and models, this is something that would be helpful for the RuCode context window too. You don't have to do it today, but it's just like if after you create the website, you want to add Gemini features like the live API or something similar, we've made these code gen instructions available on GitHub to help it be super easy.
That sounds amazing. One interesting feature I would like to share with you guys is grounding with search, which is available in RuCode itself, which means if you're using Google Gemini or even Vertex as a provider, you would be able to access the grounding with search feature directly within RuCode. I will be showing it to you next as well, but as you can see, the subtask is completed until then, and it has given the orchestrator mode a summary of whatever things that were done. Now it moves on to the next step, as you can see here. So this is really important that you break down steps into much detail as you can, especially when using AI while coding, because that is what can differentiate between a application that was created in one shot and has security vulnerabilities and versus something that is actually good and production ready. RuCode can read multiple files at once as well. So this is a feature that you might want to activate from the context from the auto approve menu here itself. And once done, it would make things way faster for you, especially when you're using something like Gemini. It becomes way faster for the model to read everything within one API request, and instead of taking much more time, it just gets things done easily and faster. I think speed is something a lot of AI companies are still striving to get for, and these are a few features that really make RuCode a standard option when it comes to AI agents overall.
Yeah, I'm just thinking back. I think my first hackathon was in 2012 or 2013, so it was a long time ago. But it was it was also so much harder to even just get started building applications, thinking through like what the styles should look like. We didn't have anything like Tailwind. And so it's just magical to see all of this kind of spring to life in just the last couple of years.
That's actually true. As you can see, RuCode actually made changes to multiple files in one single API call here as well, which makes things way easier for people using AI here. at this point, because ultimately a lot of times we are not really reviewing all of these things. We are just trusting the AI, especially if we are trying to wipe code the whole thing through. And in that case, we want the product done as soon as we can, and this thing really helps. And here I just updated the to-do list as done, as completed, and it would attempt a completion and send back the summary of whatever it did back to the orchestrator mode.
Awesome.
So right now what I'm using two different models here. One is Gemini Pro Preview, and the another one that is for code is Gemini Flash, which is way faster than Pro Preview, uh, and Pro Preview is way more intelligent. From our experience, we feel like more intelligent models work better when it comes to planning, because they can understand different things. They can bring two and two together and add things up. And this is something that we're doing here as well.
The Gemini 2.5 Flash, definitely agree that it's much faster. We also have a version called Flash Lite. You also, for the smaller models, usually have higher rate limits for the day, as opposed to some of the larger models. You might have fewer requests per day. You might not be able to make as many requests per minute. So if you do run into challenges with the Gemini 2.5 Pro larger models, make sure to test out with the 2.5 Flash as well.
That's actually a good advice. Talking about rate limits, if you go to the providers section here in Code, you can, and under the advanced setting, you can set the amount of rate limits that you have here, which would let you control the internal rate limits. If you want a seamless experience while working with coding agents, we would suggest you to configure it according to the tier of your account, of your Gemini account, of your Google AI Studio account. I assume there are these tiers, right, Paige?
For rate limit tiers?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have 3 tiers: tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. You can request a rate limit increase by there's a form. If you need something exceeding tier 3, you can reach out and we can see what we can do. But I think everybody, especially with the Nano Banana release, has been putting our TPUs to work. And so the recommendation is to always experiment with models and test out with the largest one first, see if it can do the task that you're interested in, and then kind of test through the others as well. Oh, look, you've got a website.
Now the next step would be adding images with this, and we would be using. Okay, so I told it to stop the testing, because let's test the AI for this. Let's just hope that it does well here, and we will start making the website that we create a little bit more attractive. So once it just goes back to the orchestrator mode, I will ask it to now it would again give it to a different model, uh, a different mode. As you can see the thinking here, and given this is activated here, the setting itself, we should be good to go. Now here you can see, because we gave it to a way smarter model. It was able to divide it into proper steps. It understood that it probably needs to create a separate directory to store all the images, and then it provided proper prompts that would be sent to the next subtask. Once I've approved it, it should be able to use it. Well, it created.
You might need to, if it just creates placeholders for the image without invoking Imagine or invoking the Gemini 2.5 Flash model, you might need to specify which model to use.
Yes. We have a render model as well here. Let's start by generating an image, and it has just begun the process.
A cozy coffee shop with pets. That's, oh, look at it. That is very cute.
So it created different prompts here, and it would create all the 5 images or the 4 images that it originally planned to. Well, this is regarding the second image of featured print product. Okay, I have absolutely no idea what this product is, but maybe.
Maybe they're kind of like kitten play ball. Oh,
Oh, look at this.
yeah. Paw in order. That is a very good pun.
It absolutely is. I mean, looking at the golden retriever, it kind of looks really realistic. Even the text here is quite impressive.
And what model is that using behind the scenes? Is it the 2.5 Flash or?
Yes, it is. Look here. Well, this looks like one of the better images for the hero section. And let's see how it integrates into the website. It has completed the subtask and it would return. Now I'm assuming this is in. Okay, I'll probably need to start it from index.html, but let's see if it is able to test the website by itself.
I love how this is kind of guiding folks towards the right best practices for building websites, and then also as folks are thinking about building them out too, especially for folks who perhaps haven't worked on software engineering teams before, or are just getting started with their own companies or their own projects. This is it's really nice to have kind of like a helpful guide to make sure that the best practices are being followed.
Yes, so it's already testing the website here. It's surfing through it, and but as Paige mentioned, this is why in thinking model is best when using something like orchestrator mode, because it needs to plan everything out, and a thinking model thinks a little bit more. It tries to understand it. It trades through all the steps that it could take, and then it creates a plan. And then if you are trying to code, you can simply use the faster models like Gemini Flash here. It seems like it's having problems with the browser action.
And is this using browser-based or something similar as an MCP server to do the browser interactions?
Yeah, so I think TrueCode uses Puppeteer here to get things done. Uh, that is how we are able to get the browser spun up. We will make sure that it verifies everything. As a matter of fact, let's just try it out ourselves. Start.index.html. Uh, I will be sharing another screen with you. It should be here. Oh, interesting. It should be here. So it was able to add the images directly into the website. Now, I do see it failed a little bit while trying to add more, integrate everything in proper places, but it's a pretty basic website that it was able to create. Now, if you have time, if you want to iterate on the website, make it a little bit more beautiful, a little bit more responsive, then you can go to orchestrator mode back again and then start planning everything and go ahead with it.
Yeah.
So for now, I will drop this task and I will show you the Gemini search
Yeah.
option as well.
One of the nice things about Gemini as well as just for code generation, if you do find a website with a style that you really, really like, if you take a screenshot of it and then kind of give it back to the model along with the code base that you just created and say, please make my website's style align a little bit more, match the style of this other website, it'll kind of go through and modify the CSS and the other component pieces for you. So this is it's one of the really nice things about having multimodal support in the same model that you're using for code generation, is that it can kind of match styles for you or do style cloning.
Yes. So here I asked RuCode with the help of Gemini Flash with rounding enabled. Okay, right now it used an MCP. I will show you how to set up MCP as well, but for now I will disable this MCP so that it uses the grounding facility by itself. So we'll copy this again and start a new one. Is Gemini grounding with search on? Search the it seems like it's unable to do it right now. We will use MCPs as well, but before that, I'd like to show you RuCode Marketplace from where you can install MCPs directly as well as modes. So Ru modes, as you can see here, are one of the most powerful features that we have. By default, we have 4 or 5 modes here, but you can get more from the marketplace, where you can go through all of the modes listed here and install them with one click. So we can save it on project basis or we can save it globally. And it would be saved in a global folder here in the storage. Similarly, if you can install MCPs as well directly from here, all you need to do is let's remove this dcontext7 MCP and install it again. All you need to do is set the type of command that you're going to use here, select where you want to save it, global, install, and it should be done. It would be updated here itself, context7 MCP, and you can use these MCP to enable more features directly. So let's use the search option here again. Tivoli search, which is another search MCP, and let's use Gemini preview here. Or maybe let's try the grounding facility again here. Gemini 2.5. Enable grounding with search. Let's try this again. Oh, it tends to use the MCP instead. Let's save. Done. Copy this and create a new one. Let's try again. This is surprising as far as demos goes. But let's move on to the modes. So you can set different modes here, and different modes would have different API configurations. So sometimes you probably want the orchestrated mode to use something like Gemini Pro Preview, while you want the code mode to use something like Gemini Flash. You save it and you create a new task. Now here you can see whenever code mode is selected, Gemini Flash is selected by default here, while when you move to the orchestrator mode, it is switched to Gemini Pro Preview. Now, whenever this thing happens by itself, by default, it would be switching all these profiles, it would switching all these models by itself as well. So yeah, this is it from me. Paige, anything you'd like to share as well?
No, I think that's a great end to show how folks can get started with the Gemini APIs and different models and different modes in Roo code, and how you can kind of build and scale out entire applications within the IDE. I think really excited to see what y'all all build this weekend. And also, I can't wait to see the kind of things that you're creating with Nano Banana and all of the great features in Roo code.
Yeah,
Amazing.
That would be amazing.
Great. Well, thank you both so much. I know that the Roo code crew are going to be around in the Discord the whole weekend. So if you've got any questions or thoughts as a follow-up from this, that's the place to be. And I think with that, we'll wrap up.
Awesome.
So thank you both very much for coming, and we'll see you later. All right.
Excellent.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.